The thing is that I believe that these passport bros are just betas who have disowned their betaness. They're betas who are not standing up to their betaness. They just don't want to admit it.
I can firmly say now that we have reached a point of no return. Today we're looking at a video where a white woman calls passport bros betas in disguise. Our video comes from the Beauty Ray channel. Her channel will be linked in the description so you can go check her out and review her content. Watch the end of the video to fully understand the implications of what women are doing, why women are shaming men who are walking away, and this is how this is going to affect women and society going forward. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Hello guys, my name is Bella. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I want to talk about something a little bit controversial, but I feel like this has to be addressed. Recently, my videos have been attracting a lot of the passport bro community, and if you don't know what passport bros are, they're basically men who are fed up with the dating lifestyle in the West. They're fed up with the way women are in the West, so they decide to go to other countries such as Southeast Asia or South America or Africa, whatever, just not in the West, to find a girlfriend or a wife or, you know, somebody to have fun with and be on their side. And the thing is that I believe that these passport bros are just betas who have disowned their betaness. They're betas who are not standing up to their betaness. They just don't want to admit it, okay? And we are going to get into all the details why I think this is this way. And yeah, but before we get started, I also want to say that everybody is allowed to have their own preference, okay? So if you are a man watching me and you are genuinely into, I don't know, Asian women, Mexican women, I don't know, Nigerian women, I don't care. This is your own preference, okay? But if you're genuinely this kind of a person, you would not be on YouTube watching videos like this, and you would not be in the passport bro community, because passport bro community is just men who are being triggered by the Western women. So they go online and hate on all the Western women who are not the way they want them to be, and they're trying to prove to themselves that they can get what they couldn't get in Europe, they can get it in other countries, right? If you're someone who is genuinely into all this type of woman, you will be right now, I don't know, we're in the Philippines, taking care of your mixed children, having a peaceful life, not on YouTube, considering yourself a passport bro or involving yourself with this kind of a content. But since you're here, since this video was recommended to you, you are a passport bro, and or you are somebody who is in this community and wants to know more about this and generally does not like Western women, okay? And these are the people I'm going to be addressing. These are the people who are, in my opinion, the disowned betas, the people who genuinely are into different nationality women, would just not get involved with Western women at all, right? Not even on YouTube, not on Reddit, not in the comments, nowhere. They'll just have their peaceful life. But since they're getting involved, this video is for you. So the reason why you are going to the other countries to find a woman is because the women in the West are not respecting you, okay? And it's so easy to put the blame on the women, like, oh my god, women are entitled, women are feminist in Western countries, women are not feminine, all the, like, whatever point. It's so easy to point fingers at women, like, she's this, it's the woman's fault, this is the reason why I'm going to Thailand, whatever, to find a woman. See, the thing is, can you just really take a mirror and look at yourself for a while? It's so easy to blame the woman, but can you for once take a look into the mirror and look at yourself? Because if Western women trigger you, if you are not satisfied with the way they function, with the way they are entitled, then they're triggering you, okay? If they would not be triggering you, you would not be a passport bro, okay? But they're triggering you. And whenever something triggering you, it's because there's something wrong about you. There's something triggering something in you. Okay, so whenever you experience this kind of a trigger, it's important to take a mirror and ask yourself, what part are they triggering in me? And what I have noticed in my life dealing with passport bros is that it's their own insecurities.
What I want to share with you guys is that this woman is actually a part of the YouTube partner program. She is a YouTube partner. She earns revenue from her channel. Because you can see that little join button right there, that basically means if you have that join button, you are a YouTube partner. And I want you guys to look very carefully at the kinds of videos that she's putting out. This is her channel, and look at the kinds of videos that she's putting out. Why you should get CASTRATED. And she puts a pair of scissors. But that's not the only video. The next one, he got, again, the same exact thing, snipped, cut. And we're not talking about, a vasectomy. Is this even allowed regarding, yet again? So she is absolutely obsessed. I mean, even in this picture, even in the picture for her thumbnail, she's holding a pair of scissors, snip, snip. So this is a person who absolutely HATEs us as men. These are people who do not like us. Guys, I want you to think about this. If this was a man who put something up like this on YouTube, his channel would already be gone. His channel would already be taken down. And yet, look at her channel. She is a YouTube partner. Okay? You could never have a channel like this. And YouTube is fully well aware of the kinds of content that she is putting up. They don't even put a warning on her videos. They don't even put a warning. They just leave them there. Okay? Look how many of these videos does she have? 1, 2. About CASTRATION. Okay, I'm spelling it out because you know how YouTube is. I have to spell it out, and yet she has these videos casually on the channel. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Guys, look at this. 3 types of chastity SLAVEs. This was a person who absolutely does not like us. Why every man should wear a chastity device? This is sick stuff, guys. Sick stuff. 4 tips how to dress as a beta male. Why you need to wear a chastity cage. 3 types of humiliation. Sissy Hypno ASMR. 3 stages of male submission with a piggy. Cross-dresser versus sissy. Female-led relationship dynamic. How to tell her about your micro size. These are the kinds of videos that she has up there. This is a person who does not like us. This is the reason why. Guys, imagine boys being exposed to this. Imagine boys, young men, they see this, and then women just say, oh, you're just weak. You're mentally weak. Okay? Obviously, you should just ignore it. Or maybe if it bothers you, there's something about yourself that you need to look inside about and ask, why does this actually bother you? Why are you insecure about this? When I talk about these individuals operating as agents of the state, people don't listen. Okay? What we have here are agents of the state. These people operate as agents of the state. Okay? Women operate as agents of the state while men are prisoners of the state. And the job of the agents of the state are to reallocate wealth and resources from men back to the state. What do Sims do? Sims who refuse to change also operate as agents of the state because that is how they survive. And they actively work with other agents of the state to reallocate wealth and resources from men back to the state. And in return, they receive special privileges. These are men who also HATE other men. They do not like us. And she is allowed to put this crap on here. This is absolute crap. And no one says anything about it. Just think about that very, very carefully.
Either they cannot afford a Western woman, they are not tall enough for a Western woman, they are not successful enough for a Western woman, they're not educated enough. Because let me tell you one thing. There are alpha male in women, and alpha male is felt. It doesn't matter if you are a true alpha male, you would not have a single problem getting any woman. Doesn't matter if it's from America, doesn't matter if it's from Europe, doesn't matter if it's from Antarctica, I do not care. If you are a true alpha male, you would not have the slightest problem getting any woman in this world. But since you are inferior, since you are insecure, and you don't have what it takes to get any woman in this world, you just lower your standards in a way and go to these other countries where you are going to get that masculinity hit, because you cannot get that in Western countries. You know, in Western countries, you have to be someone to get that. You have to be educated, you have to make a lot of money, you have to make all this. But since you probably are not on any of this, this is why you go to these other countries to get women where they are going to respect you. Because in these other countries, you know, if you go to Thailand, if you go to Philippines, if you are a white man or an American man, you're automatically getting worshipped. Why? Because they automatically think that you are bringing Western money. Okay, that you are someone because you're somebody from the West. And these kind of countries, they kind of worship the West in a way that they are definitely making more money than people in Southeast Asia, for example. So of course, a Southeast Asian woman is going to respect you and love you even more, and give you all the attention and be all the submissive, beautiful girl, whatever, for you, because she automatically, this is the image of Western men in their mind. But as soon as you come back to Western country, as soon as you come back to the United States of America or to Europe, you are automatically nobody. You know, you have to be really someone in these countries to be admired, okay? You have to be someone. But since you're not, this is why I go to these other countries. And this is why I go on the internet and spread hate about Western women, because they're triggering you. They're triggering your inferiority. They're triggering your lack of money, your lack of confidence, your lack of masculinity. But you're not gonna be triggered if you go to these other countries, because you're automatically a god. A true alpha does not care where he is, because he's gonna be able to get any woman. And what I've also noticed is that some of these passport bros, they just don't want to put any effort into the relationship. You know, in the West, you have to put effort, right? In the West, you have to actually make some money. You have to spend money to be with a woman. You have to really work to do that. But as soon as you go to these other countries, it's so simple for you to get admiration, to get any woman, to treat her, because everything is cheap. So you're just somebody who is fucking lazy and does not want to put any effort into these women. Just want to get everything for free, because you know you're gonna get that because you're someone in these countries, since you're no one in the West. So what about you just admit that you are just not having what it takes to be an alpha in the Western country, and this is why you're feeling so triggered by Western women, and you go to these other countries to make up for this trigger and to get a little bit of a hit of admiration, since you can't get that anywhere else. Influential and very rich men in the West, and let me tell you one thing, they like a good challenge, okay? They like to be able to get the best women of the best. Doesn't mean she's gonna be masculine, but they just want to have a challenge, right? They don't want to get anybody easy like you can get in the Philippines or in Thailand or whatever, just because you're a white man.
And there you can see where a lot of her anger is coming from now. What was the key word? White men. You see, the brothers, they started off with this, they're like, holy cow, let's get the heck up out of here. You see, they kicked off a whole different wave. The white guys were the first ones to start doing this back in the they've been doing this since the days of Pocahontas, all right? And, the whole mail order bride thing was always a thing. But you had a lot of guys, I told you about, like crazy Uncle Roger back in the 1930s and 1940s. He was like this, he was always viewed as like the, odd man out. And like, he always was walking around with like the fishing gear vest. And he says one day he's going over to this country named Indonesia to go and retire. And Indonesia, who the heck lives in Indonesia? Oh, Uncle Roger, he was a crazy one. Little do they know, Uncle Roger was a mother effing PIMP. He had done his research, he had learned about Indonesia, and he learned that there was an entire industry there where nothing really existed. So he went to Indonesia, started a business there, importing things back from the US to Indonesia and basically selling things over there. And because there was no established market in that region of the world, and he made these connections, he had this entire market cornered for himself for decades. And he had, Indonesian baddies left and right who were like, oh, wow, you look exotic to us, because everyone over in Indonesia looks the same. So they're like, you look exotic. So he had all of these baddies that wanted to be in relationships with him. Uncle Roger, when he passed away, he had over 16 kids and 7 wives. And of course, all the while in the West, his family was like, yeah, it was best to let him go. We didn't really want him around anyway. He was creeping out the kids, and, he was always a goofball and a weirdo, talking about things like, these devices called computers are going to be the future, and, the early prototypes and communication devices. This guy was literally out of his mind. He was in the Twilight Zone. See, guys, these are the men they did not want. And now men who talk poorly about us, who are attacking us in every way, who put out the worst possible content, what are they doing? They are crying. They are breaking down because men are walking away, and they do not know how to deal with it. The men that they said they did not want are leaving, and they do not know how to handle it other than using the same things they've always used: shame, insult, guilt, gaslighting, nagging, because they need to be right, sign language, and they have zero recourse for this. These are people who wish to destroy us. These are people with extraordinary amounts of disdain for us. These are the people that say that we won't leave them alone. So now what are we doing? We are putting oceans in between us. And they're coming out in anger and fury. And you know what's interesting, guys? This is an OF. She is on OF. But don't think that this is just a joke. She'll step out and say, talk jazz like, oh, anyone can realize that this was not serious. Like, if she really ever gets called out, guys, she's on OF. She's on OF, and she has all of these she has all of the Sims giving her lots and lots of money. Like, this is how bad the platform has become, where you can't speak the truth. They want to silence you if you speak the truth. But someone like this individual, like this woman, can run wild and rampant and not be checked at all. That is the sick society that we live in right now. If you want to support this channel and everything I do, check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Get top expat and passport bro travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, and hard-hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers get access to videos, podcasts, articles, and community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for subscribing. Paid subscribers unlock exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us now. Click the link in the description.
You're a Western man coming with Western money. Actual rich alpha male like a challenge. And the challenge doesn't have to have anything to do with her being masculine. Actual influential men want a woman on their shoulder that is a goddess. They do not want a woman that anybody can have. Like this woman, I'm not like... let me tell you one thing. I have been in Southeast Asia. These women are absolutely gorgeous. They are so caring. They're so feminine. I am not putting hate on them, but let's be honest. These women do not have requirements like the Western women do. Personally, with some of these women from Southeast Asia that have been dealing with Western men, and what they told me is just simply so sad. They told me that Western men come to these countries just to have low effort fun, and then they leave back into their Western countries, leaving a lot of these women pregnant. And if that is not the biggest loser beta move that there is in the world, then I don't know what is. It's just really pathetic that some of these passport bros just do this because they cannot get the recognition in the West country, you know? They're automatically a god in Southeast Asia. In the West, they're nobody. So take a mirror and look into it and ask yourself, why are you a nobody in the West? Why do you have to go to get recognition into these other countries? It's just so sad to me, because a real man, doesn't matter where he is, he's going to get the admiration that he deserves anywhere in the world. And stop pointing fingers at Western women. I know Western women that have been the most feminist whatever when they meet the right man, who is actually someone, they can become the most loving, the most caring, the most submissive woman that there are. It takes the right man, but you're probably not the right man. You're probably lacking. That's why you go to these countries in Southeast Asia where you're automatically a god for just being from the West. So stop pointing fingers at Western women and point finger at yourself. Why are Western women triggering you? Why are they triggering you? Probably because you're lacking. There's men in the West who do get the recognition because they're somebodies. They have the money, they have the success, they have whatever it takes to be admired, but you don't have it. That's why you have to settle for going to these countries. And if you were at least genuine, there's people who are genuinely into other nationalities, Asians, Latinos, whatever. That's fine. But as I said at the beginning of the video, they would not be in the passport bro community bashing Western women. Because as soon as you bash someone, that means that this person or whatever it is that's triggering you, it has something to do with you. It's triggering you, okay? You are bashing Western women because they are triggering you. They are triggering your inadequacy in the West.
The simple truth is that what passport kings are actually doing is triggering an inadequacy within these women themselves. Because what is actually occurring is these men are rejecting and replacing them with women who are fit, feminine, and friendly. Women who do not expunge these types of very toxic views towards men. Women that do not post content online suggesting that men should have their reproductive organs removed. This is exactly what she is doing. This is sickening. Okay? This is a normalization in Western society. We live in a society that does not like us. It resents us, and it would rather keep us in captivity. Women are given special privileges. Men are given special punishments. Women operate as agents of the state, while men are in reality prisoners of the state. Even though we are able to move around and go beyond walls, it does not mean that we are free. I remember getting an email from someone recently, and he said to me, "Angry, I just want you to know there's this notion that when you go overseas, if you owe child support, you're free as a bird and they cannot touch you." Yeah, it does not work like that. I was overseas and I owed child support, and the US government suspended my passport and left me stranded in that country. And the US Embassy would not help me. This was something I did not know. To my understanding, if you want to renew your passport, then they can deny your passport if you owe child support. And even if you do pay your child support and get up to date with it, the fact that you have owed child support, they can still then say that they do not want to issue you a new passport. However, typically, if you have a valid passport, they cannot take your passport away, especially if you are traveling. That was the notion that I was under. That's what I had heard. But if this individual is telling the truth, then evidently your passport can be seized, can be suspended, regardless if it's valid or not, if you owe child support payments. That's why I make it very clear that we are not free. I made a poll recently where I basically broke down, and a lot of people agreed with it, that if it's better to be called an INCEL than to be ordered to appear at a child support hearing. Women are going to gaslight us continuously in the coming years as things continue to get very, very bad for them. Because men are walking away from society, choosing not to engage in relationships. The economy is absolutely terrible. And you have women breaking down into tears and crying and asking, how are you guys even surviving right now? Because I cannot survive in this economy. I cannot survive with this inflation. Women were not designed to live without a husband. I have the Sims who are attacking me saying that they know women, older women, who are doing just fine. They're single, they're happy, they don't need anyone. So respectfully, you don't know what you're talking about. These men have set women up for failure. These men are working against the best interest of women. Notice how these men operate. They're expunging the exact same garbage that a lot of the individuals who call themselves liberated told to young women, and put young women in this trap of independence from men, when the reality is that a woman is not designed to live without a man or to live without a family. That's why in the Philippines, the center, the foundation of a Filipina's life is her family, because no matter what happens, she knows that her family will always be there for her. This is something that we do not have in Western society, because women were conditioned going all the way back to the 1960s when public assistance was first introduced to put the man out and instead form a relationship with the state. So the authority over women transferred from men to the state. Women have culturally divorced men and married the state. So now they are under the direct authority of the state, and as a result, they are given special privileges while men are given special punishments. They operate as agents of the state, and it is their job to reallocate wealth and resources from men back to the state, and they are rewarded for it. But don't misunderstand, this is all by design. And I've described the entire situation kind of like the truck that says free candy. And there's tons of free candy in the beginning until you're loaded into the truck and you can't move around anymore, and the door slams closed behind you, and then no more free candy for you. There's no more candy. Modern women have been given all the candy they can eat. But once the individuals, the powers that be, decide that, okay, we don't need you anymore, there won't be any more candy. And they're not going to know how to cope with hard times. Men have been forced to deal with hard times our entire lives. Women are bailed out of every bad decision that they make. This time they won't be. And when everything goes bottom up, they're going to say, men, help. And men are going to whisper back quite quietly, no. Are you surprised that white women are calling passport bros beta males, betas in disguise, as they walk away from a society that has rejected them and made it clear that it does not want them? Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.